The most powerful people in the room rarely speak. They don't need to. Their value isn't measured by how many words they say, it's felt through their presence alone. This silent power is what separates those who command respect from those who beg for attention. Right now, you're probably talking too much, over-explaining, justifying, filling silence because it makes you uncomfortable. And with every unnecessary word, your perceived value drops. The truth? Words are cheap. Anyone can talk. Few can communicate value without opening their mouth. In this video, I'm breaking down the exact strategies used by high-value individuals who get promoted faster, earn more respect, and influence decisions, all while saying less than everyone else. These aren't obvious tactics. They're subtle power moves that 99% of people miss because they're too busy thinking about what to say next. By the end, you'll understand how to shift from being the person who talks the most to the person who matters the most. You'll learn to command a room, earn respect, and increase your value without saying a single word. The quietest person is often the most powerful. Let me show you how to become that person. Your body speaks before you ever do. Stand tall with your shoulders back, chest out, and head high. This isn't just good for your spine, it's broadcasting confidence to everyone around you. When you slouch, you tell the world you're insecure, uncertain, or disengaged. A powerful posture makes people assume you're important, even if they've never met you. Most people move carelessly, fidgeting and shifting without purpose. Their hands flutter nervously, they bounce their legs, or they pace aimlessly. These movements scream anxiety and discomfort. Instead, move with intention. Slow down, take your time, walk deliberately, as if each step matters. When you reach for something, do it with precision. This calculated movement style signals to others that you're in control and worthy of respect. Nothing communicates value faster than eye contact. Most people look away, glance at their phones, or scan the room while others speak. This behavior broadcasts low status. High-value individuals hold steady, comfortable eye contact. Not staring, that's creepy, but maintaining a connected gaze that says, I see you, and what you're saying matters. When you enter a room, make eye contact with decision makers first. In meetings, watch who makes eye contact with whom. The person everyone looks at after someone speaks, that's the true power holder. Become that reference point by maintaining calm, steady eye contact with speakers, nodding occasionally to acknowledge their points. Silent confidence comes from micro behaviors too. Keep your hands visible, never hidden in pockets or under tables. Plant your feet firmly when standing. Eliminate nervous behaviors like touching your face, adjusting clothes, or playing with objects. Each fidget erodes your perceived value. Master the power pause. Before reacting to anything, take a breath. This tiny gap projects thoughtfulness and self-control. Most people rush to respond, appearing desperate for approval. The measured pause signals confidence in your worth without saying a word. Actions overshadow words every time, while others promise results. Simply deliver them. Consistent quality creates a reputation that precedes you in every room. When work leaves your hands, it must be excellent, not perfect, but thoughtful and complete. People notice patterns. 3 solid deliverables build more value than one spectacular performance followed by mediocrity. Excellence becomes your silent spokesperson. Most work environments operate on broken promises and missed deadlines. Teams grow accustomed to disappointment. Within this landscape of letdowns, basic reliability becomes your superpower. Show up on time. Submit work when promised. Respond to messages promptly. These simple behaviors set you apart without requiring a single boast. Reliability creates a magnetic effect. People naturally assign more important tasks to those they trust. When everyone meets the minimum requirements, exceeding them makes you exceptional, not by working longer hours, but by adding unexpected value. Format that document more clearly than required. Include a helpful summary no one asked for. Anticipate problems before they arise. Small extras demonstrate care and attention that words cannot convey. Each time you surpass basic expectations, you silently communicate your value. Consistency compounds over time. First week, people notice you deliver good work. First month, they start to expect quality from you. First quarter, your name becomes synonymous with excellence. By year one, your reputation does all your talking for you. This silent authority can't be faked through clever speech or self-promotion. Excellence creates contrast that highlights mediocrity around you. Never point this out verbally. Doing so diminishes your value instantly. Instead, maintain your standards regardless of circumstances. When projects face tight deadlines, others will panic and cut corners. Maintain your quality standard during these pressure moments. This steadiness during chaos signals remarkable value to leadership without requiring explanation. Mediocre work with good excuses still equals mediocre work. Excellent work needs no justification. When you consistently produce quality that exceeds expectations, your silence becomes more powerful than another person's persuasive speech. Most people aren't listening, they're waiting to speak. They formulate responses while others talk, missing half the content. This behavior is obvious to everyone. True power comes from full, undivided attention. Put devices away. Turn your body toward the speaker. Make them feel like nothing else exists in that moment. This complete focus signals something profound without words. You matter. People instinctively value those who value them. Watch high-status individuals in meetings. They rarely interrupt. Instead, they listen intently, absorbing every detail. This patient observation provides valuable information while others reveal their thoughts prematurely. Silent listening creates an information advantage that translates directly into power. People eventually notice who truly comprehends discussions versus who simply participates in them. Body language during listening speaks volumes. Slight nods show engagement without interruption. Facial expressions that respond naturally to content demonstrate active processing. Leaning forward slightly signals interest. These micro-behaviors transform passive hearing into active listening, a skill so rare it instantly elevates your perceived value. Most importantly, maintain eye contact with the speaker, not your phone or computer. Good listeners become information hubs. After consistent, attentive listening, people naturally direct important updates your way first. They seek your input not because you talk the most, but because you comprehend the most. This position of being well-informed happens automatically when you listen more than you speak. Resist the urge to one-up stories or relate everything back to your experience. When someone shares something, don't immediately match it with your similar story. Instead, ask follow-up questions that deepen their sharing. This restraint demonstrates security and confidence that needs no validation through personal anecdotes. Listening carefully reveals what others value, fear, and desire. This intelligence becomes invaluable for influence without manipulation. By understanding motivations through listening, you can align your silent actions with others' needs, creating impact without argument. While everyone else competes to be heard, the attentive listener gains insights that money cannot buy. Showing up matters more than speaking up. Physical presence during critical moments silently communicates investment and interest. Identify pivotal meetings, project launches, and crisis responses. Then be visibly present. Absence from key moments speaks volumes, suggesting disconnection or disinterest regardless of excuses. People unconsciously track who was there when things got difficult. Those consistently present during challenges gain respect without saying a word about their dedication. Location within physical spaces affects perceived value dramatically. Watch any gathering. Certain positions naturally command more attention. In meetings, sit directly across from key decision makers rather than clustering with peers. During presentations, position yourself where leaders can easily see your reactions. After formal discussions, place yourself along natural exit paths where spontaneous follow-up conversations happen. These subtle positioning choices increase visibility without demanding attention. Timing appearances strategically amplifies their impact. Arriving precisely 5 minutes early to meetings signals respect and preparation. Being first to respond in crisis situations demonstrates alertness without fanfare. Connecting with leadership during quieter moments rather than competing for attention during busy periods shows judgment. Each perfectly timed appearance builds cumulative value that no amount of self-promotion can match. Consistency of presence creates a compound effect. People begin to associate you with reliability and commitment simply because you're always there. This presence becomes particularly powerful when others start missing meetings or disengaging during difficult phases. Your continued visibility during these moments creates stark contrast that leaders notice immediately. Strategic visibility requires selective absence too. Being everywhere dilutes your impact. Missing low-value meetings while maintaining perfect attendance at high-impact gatherings demonstrates discernment. This calculated visibility strategy signals that your time has value without requiring you to state it directly. People notice patterns of presence more than they register verbal claims about priorities. Silence after someone speaks creates powerful tension most people rush to fill. This momentary pause, just 2 seconds, signals confidence and thoughtfulness. When asked a question, count silently before answering. This tiny gap demonstrates you're processing deeply rather than reacting automatically. Most people become uncomfortable with silence and blurt out half-formed thoughts. Mastering comfort with brief silence immediately separates you from reactive peers and positions you as deliberate and thoughtful. Emotional reactions kill perceived value instantly. When criticism comes, when plans change suddenly, when unexpected problems arise, most people visibly react. Their faces show disappointment, frustration, or surprise. Their bodies tense. They speak impulsively from emotion. Instead, practice the neutral face and controlled breathing that betrays no immediate reaction. This emotional self-regulation signals remarkable self-control and maturity. People unconsciously trust those who maintain composure during chaos. Fast responses often signal insecurity and eagerness to please. Thoughtful responses demonstrate security and careful consideration. In meetings, resist being first to speak after questions. Allow others to jump in with immediate thoughts while you formulate something more substantial. When you finally speak, your measured response will carry more weight precisely because it wasn't rushed. This pattern trains others to value your input differently. Email response timing follows similar principles. Messages requiring significant decisions deserve consideration time. Responding instantly to everything signals availability rather than importance. Delay non-urgent responses by hours or even a day. This subtle behavior suggests you prioritize thoughtfulness over speed, a rare quality that increases perceived value without explicit discussion. Watch how people respond to unexpected news. Lower value individuals react instantly with opinions or emotions. Higher value people absorb information first, ask clarifying questions, then consider implications before responding. This measured approach demonstrates security and strategic thinking that reactive responses cannot match. Decision timing matters equally. Resist pressure for immediate commitments. Instead, normalize taking time for important choices with phrases like, "I need to consider this fully before deciding." This deliberate pace signals that your decisions carry weight and deserve proper consideration, a silent indicator of personal value that quick decisions rarely convey. People form judgments within seconds, based solely on appearance. Physical presentation communicates status, attention to detail, and self-respect without requiring words. Dress slightly better than expected for your position, not dramatically different, that signals insecurity, but noticeably more polished. This subtle elevation creates an assumption of authority that persists even when you're silent. Clean, well-fitted clothing speaks of competence before you've demonstrated any skills. Grooming details matter more than expensive items. Neatly trimmed nails, clean shoes, and wrinkle-free clothing signal conscientiousness that people subconsciously extend to your work quality. Scuffed shoes, stained ties, or messy hair create negative impressions that excellent words cannot overcome. Small grooming oversights undermine credibility in ways most people never realize. Perfect these details and watch how differently people respond to your presence. Style consistency creates a professional signature that becomes recognizable. Find key elements that work well, a color palette, specific accessories, or signature pieces, and incorporate them regularly. This consistent presentation builds visual recognition that reinforces your professional identity. When people can predict aspects of your appearance, it creates comfort and familiarity that enhances trust without conversation. Appearance should match or slightly exceed your environment's expectations. Study what successful people wear in your specific field. Note subtle status markers. Watch quality, eyewear choices, fabric textures, and incorporate similar elements appropriately. These visual cues signal belonging to a particular professional level without requiring verbal claims about your status. Physical composure extends beyond clothing. Maintain good posture continuously, not just during important moments. Move with deliberate calm rather than rushed anxiety. Keep workspaces organized and visually appealing. Each visual element contributes to an overall impression of competence that requires no verbal reinforcement. Nonverbal appearance includes digital presentation too. Professional profile photos, consistent formatting in documents, and polished email signatures all communicate value silently. Even font choices in communications signal attention to detail. These seemingly minor elements create cumulative impact that shapes how others perceive your professional worth without requiring self-promotion or explanation. Written words often speak for you when you're not present. Most people send rambling, unclear emails filled with unnecessary details and passive language. Powerful communicators write with brevity and precision. Short paragraphs, clear requests, specific deadlines. When emails exceed 5 sentences, value perception drops dramatically. Cut unnecessary words ruthlessly. This concise approach signals respect for others' time while demonstrating clarity of thought. Subject lines matter equally. They should summarize content precisely enough that recipients understand priority without opening. Email timing creates silent impressions about professionalism. Messages sent at 3 a.m. suggest poor boundaries. Responses coming days late imply disorganization. Strategic timing, sending important communications between 7-8 a.m. or 4-5 p.m., creates an impression of efficiency and professionalism without mentioning work habits directly. This subtle pattern builds a reputation for reliability that words cannot create. Note-taking during meetings signals engagement more effectively than verbal contributions. While others stare at phones, actively documenting key points demonstrates both presence and value placed on the discussion. Physical notebooks create stronger impressions than digital notes. Leadership unconsciously registers who captures information versus who merely sits through meetings. This silent behavior builds reputation without self-promotion. Follow-up messages carrying meeting notes or action items demonstrate organization and reliability. Sending these summaries within hours of meetings positions you as someone who creates order from conversation. This practice builds tremendous value without requiring verbal claims about your organizational skills. People naturally assign more responsibility to those who demonstrate such initiative. Digital communication extends beyond email. Professional messaging on platforms like Slack or Teams reveals character and competence. Avoid overuse of casual language, emojis, or reaction GIFs that undermine professional perception. Maintain consistent tone across all written channels. Each digital interaction either builds or damages perceived value. Social media profiles often speak louder than in-person introductions. Clean, professional online presence silently communicates judgment and awareness. Remove questionable content immediately. Update professional profiles with current accomplishments. Monitor tagged photos vigilantly. Digital footprints create first impressions that persist despite excellent verbal communication later. Silent digital refinement protects and enhances value without requiring explanation or justification. Most people help others loudly, announcing their assistance, seeking recognition, or mentioning past favors. This behavior actually diminishes perceived value by revealing insecurity and need for validation. True power comes from helping silently, fix small problems without mentioning them, share credit generously while accepting blame privately, cover for teammates during absences without broadcasting it. These quiet acts of service build tremendous goodwill while suggesting security so deep that acknowledgement isn't necessary. People notice who helps without seeking recognition. Resources shared without expectation create disproportionate impact. Forward useful articles to colleagues without demanding response. Introduce valuable connections without requesting reciprocation. Share templates, shortcuts, and efficiency tools freely. Each unrequested resource creates a sense of indebtedness without explicit demands. This subtle generosity establishes you as a value creator rather than a value taker, a distinction that elevates status more effectively than self-promotion ever could. Stepping in during challenging moments without being asked demonstrates extraordinary value. When deadlines tighten, when team members struggle, when leadership faces pressure, offering quiet assistance during these moments creates lasting impressions. This timing transforms simple help into memorable support. People rarely forget who voluntarily shoulders burdens during difficult periods, especially when done without fanfare or complaint. Building others up silently communicates remarkable security. Highlight team members' contributions in meetings. Direct praise toward deserving colleagues. Create opportunities for others to showcase skills. This generous spotlight sharing seems counterintuitive, but actually elevates your perceived value dramatically. Leadership notices who lifts others versus who seeks constant recognition. This pattern establishes you as someone who builds success rather than merely claiming it. Consistency in silent generosity compounds over time. Small, regular acts of help create a pattern that becomes part of your professional identity. This reputation for value-adding behavior spreads through organizations without requiring self-promotion. People naturally discuss who consistently contributes without seeking reward. These conversations happen without your presence, but shape how others perceive your worth fundamentally. Genuine generosity cannot be faked through calculated gestures. Recipients sense authenticity instantly. Help must come from genuine interest in others' success rather than strategic positioning. This sincere support creates goodwill that financial incentives cannot buy and verbal claims cannot establish. Silence carries weight that words cannot match. Everything you've learned here forms a system of silent power that builds value without constant verbal reinforcement. Each element, from body language to strategic visibility to quiet generosity, creates a compound effect greater than its individual parts. When integrated fully, these practices transform how others perceive and respond to you. Most people never discover these principles. They continue talking too much, reacting too quickly, and positioning themselves poorly. Their desperate need for acknowledgement undermines the very value they seek to establish. Meanwhile, those who master silent value building naturally rise to positions of influence. Start with one element today. Perfect your posture. Practice the power pause. Refine your written communications. Begin helping others without announcement. Each small shift creates ripple effects that elevate your perceived value immediately. Within weeks, you'll notice subtle changes in how others respond to your presence. Within months, your reputation will begin speaking for you. Actions truly speak louder than words. The most valuable people rarely need to tell others about their worth. Their worth becomes self-evident through consistent demonstration. Implement these strategies consistently and watch your influence grow without saying a single word. If this approach to silent value building resonated with you, hit that like button now. Subscribe to our channel for more powerful insights that transform professional presence and personal influence. Your journey to commanding respect without words has only just begun.